Hello and welcome to the Series 11 Beast Quest Retrospective. So we're finally at Series 11. This is the first video that I'm recording after Christmas. So yeah, Christmas was good for me. Got to spend it with my family. That's all that matters really. So no more of this for the year. So we'll see that next year. That landed in my bin. Okay. Anyway, so we're now at the Series 11 retrospective, and before I get into this, I'm going to say this is the first video I've uploaded after my Christmas special, which was entirely scripted. And what I can say is I was a bit more focused on trying not to make the video too long, so I gave brief descriptions of some beasts and then kind of cut a bunch of information out, and my anxiety when it came to that made the video seem very rushed. And ultimately what I'm trying to say is I'm not doing a script again for a video. I'll do notes, but I'm not doing a script because I forgot to finish the entry for one of the beasts, and another one, and most of them are just rushed until you get towards the end where it's in more detail. So yeah, but top 100, probably won't do a top 100 again, but not even doing a script again. Forget the script. We're just going off by hair, off by ear, whatever the saying is. Okay, so with that, let's introduce the beast that I'm going to be talking about for this video. For book one, we have Elko the Ocean Menace, Lord of the Sea, Tarek the Blood Spike, Brutus the Hound of Horror, Flamar the Scorched Blaze, Serpio the Slithering Shadow. I dropped the book, Butterfingers here, and Tauron the Pounding Fury. So, do not know what seems to be the problem, but I have a serious case of Butterfingers at the moment because I'm dropping everything that I'm holding. This is what I mean. So, I think it's best if I cut to the actual talking about the books where they're leaning against something and I'm not touching them. That way I can't drop them. But to go over the plot of Series 11 briefly, so these beasts are residents of Henkral and are also created from the blood of each of the good beasts of Avantia. From book 1 to book 6 we have Sepron, Nanook, I believe this is Furno, Flamar is Epos, I think, Serpio is Arcta, Tauron is Tagus. Correct me if I'm wrong about the blood of Brutus and Flamar. I think it's Furno then Epos, but it might be the other way around. I do not know, but that is my guess. This is also the series that introduces Kensa as a main villain, who is ultimately one of the better Beast Quest villains. And her first outing is, to Lucas, her worst outing, and a terrible series in general. And according to Jack, it's one of the most underrated seasons in his opinion. So two contrasting opinions here, which are, it's great to see. Jack personally sees Series 11 as underrated and only having one bad beast, whilst with Lucas he just finds the story to be a complete rehash and rip-off of Series 1. But then again, so's Series 5. So maybe it's a case of the story for Series 11 didn't get executed to the standards that he kind of had imagined from Series 1 and Series 5. Which I agree with, because Series 1 and 5 are better, in my opinion. But if Jack's opinion is still the same as it was when we did the OG Seasons collab, he personally thinks Series 5 is worse than Series 11. But yeah, that's all I need to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about the plot. Now we're going on to my territory when it comes to talking about them. And for those of you who don't know, myself, Jack, and Lucas are part of a trio of beast reviewers. We did have a fourth one, but he kind of went off the grid. And if he comes back, we'll welcome him with open arms. But as of now, I'm afraid Year Unknown is now unknown. We don't know where he is. And I do hope he's doing well. So we'll just say that. So with that, just gonna say, I'm the Beast viewer, Lucas is the story viewer, Jack is the midpoint. So we do reviews on the same books, different opinions, contrasting opinions, but also myself and Lucas have a set part of it, was Jack takes both. So when if you're looking for what we would say is the best book slash beast, I think the best person to ask is probably Jack. And whilst myself and Lucas can give an opinion, I feel if Jack actually combines the greatness of a beast and the greatness of a story together to make a good book and make it one of the better ones, Jack's opinion is probably the best one to go for, whilst mine and Lucas should be not sidelined, but also taken into consideration, just not as much as Jack's. Also, no, that's it. That's all I need to say. This video is already 6 minutes long, and I barely started it, and that's because I may or may not be delaying this because, like with Lucas, I'm not the biggest fan of Series 11. If anyone can change my mind, I'll be greatly appreciative, but also maybe not. Don't know. There are some good beasts in here, but to me, a fair amount of them are misfires. But with that, let's get into this. We're starting off Series 11 with Elko, Lord of the Sea. And with my previous videos already having an opinion on him, you already know what my opinion is. It's not a really positive one, and I'm not the only one that shares that opinion. Jack and Lucas also share the opinion that Elko is one of the weaker beasts of this series, with this one being the only bad beast according to Jack. This beast is made from the blood of Sepron, and the only thing that even links to Sepron is the fact that Elko is a water beast. There's nothing else which I can see that actually links to him, apart from maybe Elko's body being made of seaweed and Sepron having the seaweed hair. Other than that, nothing. No link to Sepron whatsoever. Design-wise, it does look interesting and nice, but that is his best attribute. The design looks alright. Then you've got the abilities, which are kind of boring and to be expected. Nothing special or unique to make this beast a looming threat. And the fight, it didn't seem to last very long. It ends with Elko getting impaled by a stalactite or a sharp point, and that's it. So it seems to end quite quickly, but with opening books, the beast is kind of put on the side as the story gets introduced. That's fine. But if it gets kind of rushed like it does, then I think, is it really that good? I don't know. Personally, to me, Elko is a rather bad water beast, a bad reinterpretation of Sepron, if it is a reinterpretation. And if there's anything positive about it, it is that its design is okay and better than the following beast, which is book number 2, Tarok the Blood Spike. Now, this beast is made from the blood of Nanook, the snow monster, and with the exception of the body shape, there is no link to Nanook whatsoever in this beast. And if there is a beast that, if you're made from the blood of one beast, you need to have a good link to it, and this does not really have its link. So I guess this is the missing link, of course. So with Tarok, the design looks kind of lazy, really. It's just a humanoid beast with spikes all over his body, like a cactus. So, okay, you can blend in with the back. Go to the abilities, you can blend in, but also, like, you're quite a big cactus compared to rather small cactuses, so cacti. So it's not gonna help. You can breathe out a sand tornado. Okay, that's a good ability. What else do you have? Nothing much else. You got spikes all over your body, which is probably poisonous, probably not. I do not remember if it's poisonous or not. But really though, Tarok does not have anything which overly impresses me. Is kind of a boring book, and the fight, I don't remember anything from it. Really quite forgettable. And to me, I can't really find anything redeeming about it other than its sand tornado ability. but I do not see a link to Nanook whatsoever, and the design looks rather lazy in my opinion. The abilities, nothing much else to say other than the whole sand vortex, maybe poisonous needles, and the fight doesn't have anything that makes it noteworthy either. So yeah, Series 11 starting off quite bad with Elko, then Tarek. Let's see if Book 3 can change that. And Book 3 can change that. We have Brutus the Hound of Horror now. And just this beast, I believe, is made from the blood of Furno, the fire dragon. If not, it's Epos the flame bird. It is one of them. And the more I look at it, the more I think it's probably Epos, actually. But whichever it is, probably Epos now. You got the design showing links to. Yeah, I'm going to say Epos now. You got design that links to Epos with the wings resembling a bird, with the leathery wings replacing the feathers that Epos has, the talons on his front claws, which aren't regular dog-like paws, they're actual talons that you see on a bird. The eyes, I like the eye, whilst it's just yellow with a black slit going down the middle. I think it's great. Intimidation. The cover alone for the design sets off a great intimidation factor with the fog coming out of his mouth, the snake-like tongue, which can link to Furno actually. So I'm leaning more towards Epos with this beast, but there are attributes on here that shows a dog, but other attributes which shows another animal. The abilities, we got agility, flight, great smell, great hearing, fog breath, that is not toxic but nauseous, and he can turn into fog as well. Great abilities actually for a Series 11 beast. Probably the first good beast of Series 11 if you ask me. And the fight was also good, where it eventually comes down to a blacksmith's, where Tom originally started his entire journey as he was the son of a blacksmith, and Brutus gets him burnt in the forge. Fantastic. Honestly, good fight that was, and quite fun to do actually. So overall for Brutus, he is the first good beast of Series 11. It is, for me, the downside is that I do forget what blood he's made from, but then you also got great abilities, an intimidating design, and a good fight as well. Any other downsides come from its progress in Battle of the Beast, but that's just my opinion on that. And moving on to book number 4. Can Series 11 stay on this high that Brutus has took it on? Book number 4 is Flamar the Scorch Blaze. This beast is made from the blood of either Furno or Epos. I'm leaning more towards Furno now, but I did say Epos at the start of this video. Still not sure. Design, the design seems like a better version of Hellion. So, being a beast entirely made of fire. But then you got the add-on of the armor around it, the wings, the fiery aura around hands as well. It is a better design of Hellion. I won't deny that. But then you got, sorry for the heavy breathing by the way, I'm a bit out of breath. But then you got its design being described as being loosely based of Kensa as well, which is also a good, nice touch. Abilities, you got the, obviously fiery aura. I believe a fiery projectile weapon as well, like fireballs. You got flight, and that is pretty much all I remember. But being made of fire, you're obviously going to be hard to hit as well. And I believe this beast travels between geysers, because this beast I know was fought in a geyser field. And I think she transports between the geysers. Don't take my word as gospel for that one, but yeah. So it might be immune to water, or might just be hot water she's immune to. So, I don't know. Fight is, like Tarek's, a bit forgettable in my opinion. I do not remember anything from this fight, and that's all I can really say about her. Did she really continue the high that Brutus started this series on? Well, let the series get on. No, she didn't continue it. She dropped the ball a bit, but not as bad as Elko and Tarok, in my opinion. Not great, but not bad. So yeah, just mid, just mid. Moving on. Book 5 is Serpio the Slithering Shadow, and this beast is made from the blood of Arcta, hence the resemblance of the one eye, and also this beast is the largest of all the Series 11 beasts. Like, Arcta is the largest of all the Series 1 beasts. So yeah, those are the only links to Arcta I've noticed on this beast. Design, despite being made completely of ice, I actually really like this design. It looks nice, sleek, intimidating, but also not quite simple at the same time. You got the detail around the face of around the eye, the sharp icicle-like fangs, the wings, all of it's great. And then you got the abilities with the icy breath, the 360-degree vision, where the heart is on his tail, but so is his eye. He can fly, burrow, so quite a few good abilities there, and why I like him so much. And the fight, I believe, takes place in a mine shaft, so has a constrictive environment, which I think it was executed quite well. Not the best in a claustrophobic environment, but still a good fight. Not the best, but still quite good. Out of the Series 11 fights, I would say this one was probably the best. So yeah, and that's purely because of the execution of it, the abilities on Serpio, and also, like I said, the claustrophobic environment. Not being the best claustrophobic fight, I believe that title, best claustrophobic fight, goes to Fang, unless I remember another one. But for me, Serpio, great book in my opinion, and deserves a bit more recognition, because I know Lucas is not the biggest fan of this book, and I believe this is Jack's second favourite of the series. Which, yeah, I'm happy with Jack's opinion on it. I'm hoping it stays the same or gets better. But for Lucas's opinion, I like him to see Serpio in a new light, or shall I say, a new age. Moving on. Book number 6 is Tauron the Pounding Fury, and this beast is obviously based off Tagus, looking like a centaur. Tagus is a centaur. The design looks a lot better than Tagus, in my opinion. I like the whole concept of actually being more, instead of a man and a horse fused together, it looks like a minotaur and a horse fused together. You got the double-bladed sword, the Wolverine claws, great wings for flight, the speed, durability, bunch of great abilities in my opinion. Design looks quite good, not intimidating, but still great. And yeah, honestly, great start. I would say good start. Yeah, okay, great design, great abilities. Okay, let's see how good the fight is. Unfortunately, the fight to me felt a bit rushed. And like with Series 10's final book with the fight, it seems like that was just completely shafted just to focus on the story. And whilst that's not necessarily a bad thing for a Beast reviewer, that does knock it down a peg, making it go from what could have been one of the best beasts of the series to a mediocre one. So for me, Tauron, I want to like you, I want to appreciate you, but I can't because of this fight not being much to take notes on. And with that, that is Series 11 wrapped up on the one by one opinions. Time to go cut back to me with the rankings. And with that, that is another series of a retrospective down the rabbit hole and sorted for good. Overall, in my opinion, Series 11 still stays to me as one of the worst series of Beast Quest. Whilst it's not the worst, that title goes to another season, which we'll get to later. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, Series 11, in my opinion, not really that great. I do like the whole concept of the beasts here being made from the blood of the Series 1 beasts. I just expected more links to them on an appearance basis, which would make them better. However, with the lack of links that are to the Series 1 beasts that are on some of these beasts here, it just throws it off to me. And then there's supposed to be an upgraded design on them as well. I would have been completely fine if these beasts are genuine copies of the Series 1 beast with an additional upgrade, an additional ability, so on and so forth. Whilst it wouldn't be as good as Series 1 in my opinion, I would believe that I would like these beasts more if they were actually a better version of them. But this series was released, I believe, in 2014 or 15, so almost 10 years now. 10 or 11 years, 9 or 10 years now. God, I can't talk. 9 or 10 years now. So the opportunity for that is long gone. And to me, this series is still one of the worst ones, in my opinion. I do agree with Lucas that it's a bad series. Wouldn't say it's the worst one. But hey, that's my opinion. On a beast perspective, though, there's only 2 which I would say are good. 1 which is okay. No, 2. No, yeah. 1 that's okay. 1 that is forgettable, and 2 which are bad. That's just a beast perspective opinion here. So with that, let's get to the ranking. So my least favourite of this series has actually changed. And it's actually now Elko Lord of the Sea. Whilst I do understand that it's the starter book, you don't really focus on the beast as much. This one had the beast in for a good chunk of it, and then after that, he was taken care of quite quickly, which seems like a bit of a waste. So he was in like probably 3 chapters, but the fight felt rushed. I could barely remember anything from it apart from how he dies. The abilities doesn't have anything that stands out, and the design is the only saving grace, and that's still an okay design. It's not great, it's just okay. Moving on to 5th place, we have Tarek the Bloodspike. Let me just adjust the camera there. Yeah, okay. So with Tarek the Bloodspike, this was my least favourite of Series 11, but now he's finally got a little bit of recognition. Good for you. Honestly, fantastic. Good for you. I am being a bit sarcastic here, of course. The design is just... it's worse than Elko. But the abilities is better, and the fight is also forgettable, but I would say that Tarek was a harder beast to defeat. According to Jack, he does have a reason why this beast is better than Elko. I would say these 2 are relatively even. If I can hear that reasoning, Jack, I would be greatly appreciative, because whilst I do not want to like Tarek, I would say, given a moment in the spotlight for a beast which I personally dislike, and I know Lucas dislikes, it'll be great to see. Like, we're not the biggest fans of the series, so to hear a retrospective from you about this series where you're highlighting it as an underrated one, we'd like to hear your viewpoints. Well, I would. I can't speak for Lucas, but I'm sure he would as well. But in 4th place, we have, well, book number 4 of the series, Flamar the Scorched Blaze. And what throws Flamar off for me is that she is the forgettable one of that group. And I don't know what to say about her. Her design is better than Hellion, but along with Brutus, I generally cannot remember which beast she's made from the blood of. It would make sense if it's Epos, because Epos lives in a volcano, but it would make sense if it's Furno, because Brutus has more links to Epos than Flamar does. I can't talk. But also, there's also the... why am I having trouble talking? Flamar is forgettable in my opinion. I don't remember much about her abilities. I don't remember her fights whatsoever. And I read this book the other day. And what I mean by that is I started reading this book shortly after I finished recording the Series 10 retrospective. And during that time up until now, I read the Series 11 books and the Series 12 books. And Flamar is forgettable in my opinion to me, where I can't remember anything from it. Moving on to 3rd place, we have Tauron the Pounding Fury. Great design, great abilities, rushed fight just for the story. Not a bad thing, but because of I'm the beast, because I do focus mainly on the beasts and talk about the beasts and not the story as much, that does knock it down a peg, making it go from what could have been a great beast to just a okay one. No, not even a great beast, just a good beast, and it went down to being okay. If there's any positive to say about Tauron, at least you made my top 100. But out of 160 something beasts, that's not really as impressive. Like, it's not really impressive that they made it there. They made it into the top 100, but hey, they're in the better group of beasts. Beasts I gave a moment in the spotlight for. Even for Tauron, it was very brief. Moving on to second place, we have Serpio the Slytherin Shadow. Now, this was a tough choice to pick between these books, but I'm leaning more towards Serpio being a slightly worse one, because my hype for him has died down after a very standout battle I did many years ago. But my hype for him has died down now, and whilst I still appreciate the abilities and adore the design, I personally believe that the design for the other beast is better, and the fight is more memorable. But I do believe Serpio's fight is better. It's just not as memorable compared to the other one, as this one has been done before and done better before. Whilst with the number one beast, I believe it has been done before, but it wasn't as good. So yeah, I believe this number one has a better fight than previous incarnations of that fight. But Serpio also has some good abilities, which I do have pointed out and do make the most of when it comes to Battle of the Beasts. But that's it. Serpio seems to have the best chance in making it far in Battle of the Beasts compared to the other Series 11 Beasts. And that comes down to either poor matchups on the other Beast's behalf or great abilities, maybe? I don't know. But for some reason, Serpio has been the last beast standing of Series 11 for 2 tournaments now. And if he's the last beast standing of Series 11 for another tournament I do with Series 11 Beasts in, it wouldn't surprise me. But my favourite of Series 11 is, obviously, by process of elimination, Brutus the Hound of Horror. And simply, the design looks great. The more I look at it, the more links I see to Epos here. And now I'm leaning more towards this beast being made from the blood of Epos. Whether I'm right or wrong, I still don't know. So yeah, the abilities are also great as well. I like that you can turn into a fog, which thank you, Jack, for reminding me about this one, by the way. Because when I first started talking to Jack, I forgot about this ability, and I believe Lucas did as well. So yeah, it wasn't just Merc's hypnotism that we were reminded of. So cheers. But with Brutus, I like him. Great design, great fight, good abilities. The only thing that drags him down is his accomplishments in Battle of the Beasts. I believe he died in round 1 for both tournaments that he was in, which isn't great, obviously. If he got another chance in Spotlight to, really show his strength, I would love to see it. Because I want to see Brutus do well. I want to see Brutus solidify himself being my favourite beast of Series 11. However, for me, at the moment, I can say he is my favourite, but very loosely, where he can be surpassed quite quickly or quite easily. But with that is my retrospective from Series 11. Just going to say, sorry if it seems like I was a bit out of it for this video. At one point I was out of breath, and that's because I just had to take care of something quickly. And also, Series 11 is a series I'm not naturally attracted to, so I feel like I can force myself to like this series, but it's also hard to keep up an act of saying that you like something that that I believe isn't that great. I believe Series 11 is a perfectly rated series because it was a misfire, in my opinion. I feel that it was a rip-off of Series 1, a more obvious rip-off of Series 1 than Series 5 was. and being made from the blood of the Series 1 beast, that boosted the expectations that I had for these beasts, and for them to be missed probably 5 out of 6 times, it doesn't show Series 11 in a good light. And the only successful attempt at recreating the only successful beast, in my opinion, on my first reviewing of this book, appearance-wise and standards, was Serpio. Whereas in my first beast review, and this one, obviously, Brutus was my favourite, that does come down to my enjoyment of his abilities and fights. However, I would say that he didn't really reach my standards of the comparison of the beast that he's compared to. So for that, only one successful beast out from that series out of 5 misfires, and one of those misfires is my favourite. So yeah, Series 11, I personally am not the biggest fan of, whilst there is another series out there which I dislike more, and trust me, you will be hearing it. For me, Series 11 is on the worst side. On a total out of 10, I would rank it a solid 3. And I'll give it a 3 over a 2 because it tried. It tried something new. It fell flat, but it tried. It tried. Beast-wise, it didn't hit home. Beast-wise, it didn't hit home successfully, and it shows. So that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, and you like your comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.